Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Aliens, Mantis Alien from NECA Toys. Man, when NECA started doing all of the Kenner-inspired Predator figures, I loved them, but I was counting down the days till they started doing the Kenner-inspired Aliens figures, and finally, we've got them. And we're going to kick things off by taking a look at one of my absolute favorite versions of the Alien from that vintage Kenner line, being the Mantis Alien. As you can see, the figure comes inside that awesome clamshell style packaging that does an amazing job of paying homage to the vintage Kenner Aliens boxes. It's got that very cool retro design, fully showcases our Mantis Alien within, has some awesome artwork on the lower portion, and as always, that NECA logo looks like the old Kenner logo. I love that. The back of the box has a cross-cell that, again, looks just like the cross-cell from the old Kenner packages, but instead shows us some of the awesome offerings from the Alien and Predator figures that NECA has given us. So let's go ahead and get Mantis Predator outside of the packaging and take a closer look at him. Let's start with the tape measure here, because this guy is huge. As you can see, he's standing in kind of a bent pose right here with his knees slightly bent, which is the proper way to pose him, but even that way, he is nearly 10 inches tall. If I straighten out the legs on this thing, which, by the way, they're not going to go completely straight, that's by design, because he's supposed to have kind of that bent, bug-like pose, but if I stand him upright, you can see that he clearly reaches all the way to almost 11 inches tall. So this is one big bug, and he's awesome. Let's start by running down the sculpt on this guy, because he has got an incredible look. The thing that I loved so much about that vintage figure, in fact, a lot of the things that I loved about it, NECA has really done a wonderful job of updating and capturing in this brand new sculpt. You can see that the figure was done in this awesome, bright, translucent green plastic. So he's got this very cool, clear nature to him. Really looks good under the lights here, as you can see. He's kind of got this glow effect to him, which is awesome, because that's exactly how the vintage figure was. And then he's kind of got this amazing, almost metallic silver that just brushes on there and highlights all of the amazing sculpted details. In some of the parts, that silver gets almost like a darker gunmetal type silver. So it's kind of got some of the bright shiny silvers mixed in with the darkers there, some black wash in there, and it just does an overall amazing job of bringing out all of those sculpted details. Look at the head sculpt on this guy. I absolutely love it. And just the way that silver mixes with the green, it just really, really brings back those nostalgic feelings of that vintage Kenner Alien figure. I love it. But, of course, updated with the amazing sculpting that NECA has always given us with their Alien figures. This is just a cool looking figure all around. So he's got that Mantis design, of course, which means he's got the longer kind of clawed hands there. Look at that. That is so very cool. Has that very bug-like look. And of course the xenomorphs, they've always been referred to as the bugs, right? But this guy really takes that to a whole new level. I mean, he's got these really long arms that are bent like mantis pincers here. And you can see you've even got the little pincher claws on the front. Love kind of the thorax design on the back here. Look, he's even got the little stinger on the bottom side there. And then, of course, the legs, though, as I already mentioned, the way they bend down and they fold open to these large four-toed kind of webbed feet there that balance him on your display shelf. So just an overall amazing sculpt. This guy looks incredible. I think he is so much fun. So let's go and talk articulation with this guy. He's got all the posing that you've come to expect from your xenomorph figures, but because he's got these longer limbs, some of the things are a bit different here. So the head is ball jointed, so you can roll that head all the way around. It's got a great range of motion moving up and down as well. And as always, we can open and close the jaw in there, which is very, very nice. And we even have the little inner mouth that can pull out, just like we see with most of the xenomorphs from NECA Toys. So very, very nice. The arms are ball jointed at the shoulder, so the arms can go outwards, they can move forwards and backwards. Nice joints there. we have kind of like these double ball joints here for the elbows because of the way that the arms bend. So you can swivel at the top and you can swivel at the bottom portion, as well as bend the joints. Look at that. You can see that really great double ball joint there. So that is really, really cool. Again, you've got more joints up where the arms are going to bend again, more ball joints, so it swivels all the way around. You can then also swivel at the pincher piece and rotate that up and down, and you can open and close the little pincher claws. How amazing is that? Look at all the articulation in the arms. That is incredible. You got a nice ball joint at the waist so the upper body can rotate all the way around there. You got the same ball-like joints at the thighs, so legs can go outwards, forwards, and backwards, as well as swivel there. The little thorax piece, the back piece here, is solid. That is locked in place there. We do have those nice kind of double joints at the knees. The way the sculpt is, like I showed you earlier, it's meant to kind of keep the legs bent, but still a great range of motion there as well. Then we've got the other bends down at the bottom of the legs, which are, again, ball jointed, so you can swivel, rotate the legs all the way around, and then the feet are also nicely jointed as well. So this has got a great range of articulation. I absolutely love it. You're really going to want to get him in those poses where he's kind of got that hunched over look, got the claws out in front of him, and it works pretty well. I will say that the joints in the knees and kind of the leg joints are a little weaker than I would like to see. You can see that there are a lot of stances where they kind of just buckle under the pressure and he's been falling down, but it's one of those things where you just kind of have to work him around and you find the right pose. And one of the other things that really helps with that, when I pulled the guy out of the box, I didn't notice it at first, but his feet were swiveled around like backwards. One of his feet was backwards, and that was keeping him hard to balance. So make sure that you've got the three toes kind of pointed forwards. That really helps to balance out his feet, and it keeps him standing a lot better. And that way you can get some really cool stances and poses out of this guy. Now, this guy does come with a few included accessories. First of all, he's got the tiny little baby alien version of himself. You can see that he's done in like a green and black look. Very cool. He's even got the little arms folded in front of him. It's very cool there. It's bendy material like we've seen with some of the baby aliens in the past, so you can just kind of bend that around, but that is a really, really cool pack-in. And the next pack-in, which is even cooler, is a reprint of the Dark Horse mini-comic, Mantis Alien Swarm, number 10. These came with the original Kenner action figures, so it's really cool to see these reprinted, bright, colorful little comic books. Just a fun little inclusion with these NECA aliens. I love it. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Let's take a look at NECA's new Mantis Alien standing alongside that vintage action figure counterpart from Kenner so that you can really see where NECA drew the inspiration for this brand new figure. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the brand new Mantis Alien, part of NECA's latest wave of Aliens action figures, all inspired by the old Kenner figures. I love this guy. I think my only minor nitpick is that the knee joints and the leg joints all together are a little looser than I'd like. I wish he could stand just a little bit more firm, but otherwise, I love him. He's a beautiful figure. He's got a wonderful sculpt. I love that they went with the translucent green plastic just like the vintage figure. He looks awesome when you display him with that Kenner-inspired Ripley that we've already got, and all around just a great figure, and I cannot wait to see more of the Kenner-inspired aliens from NECA Toys. Very special thanks to the folks at NECA for sending this guy along so we can get a good look at him outside of the packaging. Guys, this Kenner-inspired wave is starting to hit retail stores right now, so happy hunting, my friends. And hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe. That way you never miss out on one of my reviews. Until next time, my friends,